Hello everyone, my name's Rabina. So today, I'll give you it's Saturday, June 27th, or Sunday, June 27th, 2021. So today I'm gonna be talking about my fibromyalgia diagnosis. I'm also gonna be talking about all the symptoms I've been dealing with and all the steps I've taken just to get my diagnosis. So it's honestly, when I think about it, this might have been going on for like 5 years, and I might not have just known it until it started getting worse the past almost 3 years. So what I have what started, so I'm 23 now. I was 18 when this all started. I'll go up with a background history. So I am an EMT, I have my advanced EMT, but I'm working on getting my license so I can do that. I work 2 jobs. I work at an ambulance service on a reservation, and I also work on an ambulance service at a fire department. I grew up in foster care for about 8 years of my life. Before that, I lived with my mother and my sister. My mom was a really bad alcoholic and schizophrenic. I dealt with like any kind of abuse there was, whether it's mental, sexual, physical. So I didn't grow up with a very good childhood. After I got out of foster care, I got kicked out. I had a suicide attempt, and I just didn't have a very good relationship with my foster mother. She seemed to do really good at housing me and everything and teaching me like life skills and all that, but I honestly just didn't get the attention I needed as a foster kid, and she kind of just let me go out and do whatever. I was very athletic in high school, and I also did like band. So that's like the start of my childhood. So I've dealt with like depression almost my whole life. So anyways, now that that's over, I'm gonna start off with my story. So after it was like before I turned 19, I was really depressed. I started getting like fatigued all the time. I lost a lot of weight. After I was 19, I started working a lot more to try to support myself, and I started going to school to be a paramedic. Around that time, I started getting really fatigued. Didn't matter how much I slept or how little I slept, I would be super exhausted all the time. I'd go to the clinic or wherever, and they would draw my blood and check my thyroid, and they said it was fine. Before I came at EMT, I worked at the post office. I was a mail handler, so I would constantly move all these crates that were like over 100 pounds. I started getting like really bad chest pain. It mostly started on my left side. It was right here. I went to an urgent care clinic, and they diagnosed me with bronchitis. They put me on antibiotics, and I thought that was the end of it. I was like, oh, it's whatever. So about 2 years later, even throughout that whole time, I still dealt with fatigue. 2 years later, I went to the clinic first started going to that was pretty decent. They diagnosed me with shingles and a bunch of other stuff in the past, and I thought they were terrific. So I went there. I told them I was having chest pain again. It was really bad, hurting really bad to the point I couldn't breathe or catch a breath. They said, oh, it's probably anxiety. I said, well, I normally have anxiety, and I do not have this happen to me. So they said, well, we can't fit you in anywhere today. We can refer you to urgent care. They tried to refer me where I previously went to, and I said, well, I'd rather go somewhere new. So I went somewhere new. They diagnosed me with pleurisy and put me on antibiotics. Not only that, they referred me to a primary care physician because I did not have one like after I moved. I went to see the primary care physician. They diagnosed me with costochondritis, told me to take like Advil relief, said it like see if it helped a little bit. It did not. I told them I was having really bad acid reflux and indigestion. So last year they referred me to a gastroenterologist. I got an EGD and a colonoscopy done. I got diagnosed with irritable bowel syndrome, gastritis, GERD. If you don't know what that is, it's gastroesophageal reflux disease. It's really bad acid reflux. And I had a hiatal hernia that was too small to repair. So I got put on meds. I've been doing follow-ups with the gastroenterologist. They adjust my meds or switch it out for me if something's not working. Also around that time period, I told them, because this has been going on for almost 3 years, I told them like I was having really painful intercourse and I was having difficulty urination. And also throughout that time, I saw a urologist and 2 gastroenterologists, three gynecologists, and they could not figure out what was wrong with me. It seems like everything they prescribed me would not work at all. So my doctor was having me like go see them too. The last gynecologist I saw, they put me on Orilissa for 6 months to see if I had endometriosis because I was having really bad pelvic pain and abdominal cramping too. Didn't work. Kept going on. Around April of this year, my doctor was gonna put in a referral to Minnesota for me to get looked at for those problems. And I also told her I was starting to have what felt like really bad joint pain too. And I asked her if I might have had an autoimmune disease. And she drew my blood, she did a metabolic panel, and she said everything came back fine. But she put in a referral for a rheumatologist for me, so I waited about 3 to 6 months. I just saw the rheumatologist Friday. I told her I've been having problems with my urination, with painful intercourse, I have a lot of GI problems, I have scoliosis, I have osteoarthritis in my jaw. And she said, well, looking at your records, did your doctor ever talk to you about having fibromyalgia? And I said, no. She said, well, I'm going to diagnose you with fibromyalgia because you do not, all of your blood has came back normal and you do not have like pain in your joints, and it's most likely on your bones. So she diagnosed me with that. She said it's not an autoimmune disease, it's a neurological problem. She said it could cause depression and anxiety, and if I had any more problems urinating or anything, she could help me with that too, which made me feel relieved. She asked me about my diet. I told her I eat like garbage because I'm an EMT, and sometimes I don't have enough time to prepare a healthy meal as much as I'd like. So she told me to try to eat more vegetables if I could. She asked me what I did for exercise. I said, to be honest, I don't do a whole lot because I work a lot, but when I'm at home, I usually just clean around the house or go out shopping or just do whatever. So she told me I need to try to exercise more. I told her I'd like to weightlift more, but some days I just feel like absolute garbage. Like I already lifted weights, like I'm sore in like my arms and legs. So she told me it doesn't matter what I do for exercise. It could be yoga or it could just be going on a 15-minute walk. She told me to try to stay away from caffeine and try to eat healthier. She also referred me to the behavioral health department in their area to try to get me on some anxiety and antidepressant medications, and also just to like talk about stuff. I asked her, she asked me if I had any questions about it. I said, Besides, how is this going to affect me? Am I going to have to go to referrals all the time or make follow-up appointments all the time? And she said, well, it's chronic and there's not really a whole lot we can do to fix that. But for now, I suggest just start trying to exercise more and eat better. So she told me to follow up with my primary in 2 months. She also put me on a sleep aid called amitriptyline because I told her I have been having problems sleeping and I do wake up about 4 times throughout the night. But in all honesty, I feel relieved to know I'm not crazy and these aren't just like random stuff popping up and that I'm making up, and that it's actually something that's affected me as a whole. I am in shock that I have gotten this diagnosis. I'm completely clueless. I'm like trying to look up stuff because I'm like, are there alternative routes to deal with this, or do I have to get put on pain medication and a bunch of other medication to try to help with this? I really appreciate everyone watching. If you do have any recommendations or questions, I would be willing to answer them. Sorry, I'm like a little anxious, but thank you for watching.